Hey everyone, in today's video we'll be looking at my tank setup to breed Corydoras Hastatus. This will be part one of the video. This will be a tank setup and how to get eggs from the fish. So Corydoras Hastatus are a pygmy catfish from South America. They're super elusive and difficult to kind of get good video of, but they school super well and do best in groups and best with other small fish. So my breeding tank setup is very simple. It's just a 10-gallon tank with a sponge filter and a large portion of Java moss for them to hide and breed in. I would also suggest painting the tank black or white just to hide the outsides from the fish. They are very skittish, so they feel most comfortable when they're kind of enclosed and they can't really see a lot outside. Whenever I walk by the tank, they all run to the back. So I'd really suggest covering the sides if possible. They also do like digging through the substrate, so if possible, try to add some sand to the tank as well. I haven't done it here, and it's probably not necessary, but it will also help them feel more comfortable. For this specific tank, I do plan to add some rocks in the bank once there are fry, which will kind of provide a lot of space for them to hide. I read this online that it does very well for protecting the fry. So what I initially did was I put 8 of them into this tank. They were kind of hiding a lot, so I decided to add maybe 10 to 15 more into the tank. And since adding these extra fish, they've been a lot more comfortable, more outgoing, more aggressive towards food, and just in general doing a lot better, and I would say look a lot healthier and more active. For a breeding setup, I would recommend only putting these in a species only tank. They don't really compete well for food. I had them in another tank with some other tetras and rainbows and stuff, and they were kind of just hiding at the bottom away from all the food. So I feel like if you're trying to breed them, you kind of do need a specific breeding setup. So food wise, they're very easy to feed. All I've been doing is kind of feeding them tetra granules and baby brine shrimp, which is a great food kind of to feed them up and get them more conditioned for breeding. And then I've also been using decapsulated brine shrimp. This is really great because once it kind of sinks to the bottom of the tank, which I would say is very important for the Corydoras hastatus, they kind of dig through. This is very like natural feeding behavior, and they get all the little bits of the decapsulated brine shrimp. So I would suggest mixing up the foods and using good foods to condition them. I'm sure you could use other foods. Like there's a ton of stuff on the market. I've used like some pleco pellets. They seem to like that as well. All that kind of stuff will work really great for these fish. The females are much larger in size, and when they're breeding, you can kind of see whether or not the female stomach is full of eggs. They look kind of like more brown or like, I don't know, see-through, clear. I don't even know exactly how to describe it, but they do look a lot larger, a lot more round, and you can clearly see that there's eggs in the fish. The males are a lot smaller, and they do kind of tend to chase the females behind them. They're like significantly smaller. I would say maybe 60% of the size to 75% of the size, so there's a very big difference. From what I've read online, they start breeding at a very young age, as soon as 4 months. So I think they'll probably start breeding as soon as you get them. Obviously, they need to be conditioned to the tank and like fed up and all that kind of stuff and well adjusted. But once you do all those things, they should be very, very easy to breed. From what I did on research I did online, I saw that they were bred a lot in colonies, which is kind of the goal with what I'm trying to do here. From what I've read, they don't predate on eggs or fry. And yeah, so that's kind of the setup goal with this tank. I wanted to kind of see the setup and the progression, and I figured I'd get that on video for you guys. So far, they haven't been eating the eggs. They have been spawning a lot, so I think this will hold true, but we shall see over the next few months. So from what I've read online, they'll breed in a wide variety of water parameters. I'm currently breeding them in tap water. They have been spawning. I have seen a couple fry swimming around in the tank. My tap water is around 7.5 pH and 300 or so parts per million total dissolved solid, so it's nothing super special. I do have RO, but I decided I would try to breed these without using R water and see how it goes first before I jump to RO. And so far it's been working well. I have seen fry in the tank, so that means the eggs are hatching. Now, one thing I did want to say is a lot of the eggs have been fungusing, so that might be due to the higher pH levels. I'm not entirely sure. That also might be because the fish are just a little younger. They just started breeding. So I'm not really sure what that is, but I'm sure we'll figure it out as time goes on. The eggs are also really, really tiny. So I'll try to insert some video of them here. They're super small. I would compare them to threadfin rainbow eggs. If you guys have ever seen those, they're also really puny. Like the smallest eggs I've ever seen. And the fry are also really, really small. So it might be a little bit hard to feed them. I don't have a ton of details on what I'm going to do for that. My theory is that they'll eat 5 to 50 micron powdered foods. So that's kind of what I'm going to do with these guys. I'm going to feed them the same things I feed my rainbows and all that kind of stuff. So hopefully the fry will do well. The eggs are supposed to hatch in 4 to 6 days. That's kind of what I've seen as well. I haven't been able to exactly track, like which eggs are hatching and all that, but roughly between 4 to 6 days is when they will probably hatch. I'll make another video about raising the fry in the future, but I've attached some resources to the description here that I read through before I set up this tank and kind of some of the information that I got from this. So I'll link them in the description, so hopefully those help you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching, and if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments down below, and I'll see you guys next time.